Welcome back to our coverage of the 2011 Al Gaffal Dow race. It's just after 6 in the morning as the fleet begin the run out to the start. From Surbenair Island, nearly 50 miles back to Dubai across the waters of the Gulf. 100 of these 60-foot traditionally built wooden boats exactly making up this fleet for this, the 21st running of the biggest Dow race in the world. The boats towed out by their small tenders towards the start at a point from the island where the race director Saeed Al-Harib of the DIMC decides conditions are just right for the race to begin. Not an easy task as it turned out, however, with light and fluky winds as low as 2 to 3 knots blowing almost directly from the east, forcing the decision to keep pulling the fleet out down the line of the course, east into the wind towards Moon Island. The official boats taking reading after reading, looking for the wind shift to the north, and some boats coming to grief with breakages even before the race got underway, and all the time getting closer to Moon Island.
I have 70 degrees. Huh? I have 70 degrees.
70.
Mohammed, we're going to stay in our position. We're going to stay.
شباب خدت النهاية؟ مين السياحي ها؟ مفتوح السباق زين؟ سباق شو اسمه جزيرة القمر؟ على كيفكم يسار ويمين ها زين؟
So finally 20 nautical miles out from Surbenair Island, and with a steady 10 knots blowing 70 degrees from the northeast, a shortened race could get underway. Once, of course, the fleet had mustered into a decent line behind the boys. Not an easy task for 100 boats, over 1,500 crew members and 100 towboats and their lines. It's traditionally a moment of what appears to be mayhem, and this year was no different. And with the official start flares up, the 2011 Al Gaffal Dow race gets underway. The distinctive lateen rig sails being hoisted en masse, with every second gained at this stage worth a boat length or more as the race develops. Placement on the line in relation to the wind is vital, of course, which is where some of that experience we spoke of earlier comes into play in getting the best possible start. And it's a spectacular and unique race start, nothing like it in the world, as the boats start to spread out across the Gulf. So with no Moon Island midway gate, it was pretty much a straight line race, east-southeast for 30 miles across the Gulf to the finish line just off Palm Island. The fleet spread out across a vast area of ocean, but with two distinct leading packs. One upwind with number 33 Kataf leading the way, skippered by Mohammed Rashid bin Shaheen, and the other led by three-time winner number 16, much further downwind in the west. The fleet spreading out spectacularly across the waters of the Gulf, and indeed providing a spectacle that one particular group of enthusiasts had travelled a long way to witness. United by their common love of racing historic and traditional boats, a Spanish delegation under the leadership of Andrés Sánchez Caballero, president of the Clásica del Mar Menor, was on hand to exchange notes with their fellow lateen rig sailors. Before the race start, we asked for his first impressions.
It's not easy to have 100 boats in a race. It's really special, no? We came first to learn how these people make this incredible event, and then we try to invite them to come to our country we made two important races, just one with Latin rigs, and the other one is an annual festival where we have all kind of rigs, yawls, skates, and all different boats. And we try to have all the boats we can manage from all the Mediterranean, from here, all over the world. We have many different kind of Latin rigs. Normally they are very flat and depends on the sea. And when you are in the Mediterranean, they are really flat. When you are in the Cantabric on the north or in the south, they have a little bit more deep. They have just one mastile. We don't have a bomb sprit that this boat has. We take care to be very traditional. Our boats are always all of good, the mastiles, the sails, and we try to manage to keep the order of our boats. This kind of sail is wonderful because it's the first sail that makes the sailors all over the world to be close to the wind. And you know, before the Latin rigs, all the big boats goes with wind by the back, no? With the Latin rigs, these people invent to be close to the wind, no? So it's very important for all the sailors all over the world.
Andres Sanchez Caballero of Spain there, talking about the ubiquity of the lateen rig. In layman's terms, the sail arrangement on these dhows, as well as the traditional boats found throughout the Mediterranean, perhaps as a result of Arabian traders passing on their design skills. He spoke of the fact that before the lateen rig, all boats had to sail with the wind directly behind them, filling the sail. But when they came up with the lateen rig all those years ago, sailing changed fundamentally, and seafarers at last had the tools to sail close to the wind. Pretty much what the fleet here at the 2011 Al Gaffal race have been coping with. The wind coming from the northeast, picking up later in the race to a good 12 to 15 knots. Not ideal in terms of direction for the racers, but enough to make a real competition out of who could make the best of the challenging conditions. And with the fleet spread out over a good couple of miles, there were advantages to be found depending on your position. A difficult call though, even for the most experienced of dhow sailors. Qatar, boat 33, still making the running at the northeastern extreme of the fleet, but way downwind at the other end. Three-time winner, number 16, Dama Marine, with Mohammed Rashid bin Shaheen at the helm. Running here closely with boat 61, not a lot between these two. Each of the skippers desperately trying to eke out every last ounce of boat speed. The wind now up to a steady 15 knots, and the crew's keeping a weather eye out for the coastline and the city of Dubai itself. Those skyscrapers still difficult to spot because of the haze coming from the landmass. Well, a quick pass over of the Dubai International Marine Club's impressively large race control boat, Dubai Shadow, as boat 16 Dama Marine works hard to make the most of the northeasterly. Almost the entire crew now out over the low rail. Off in the distance, though, to the southwest, another small group of boats edging down the outside, looking for what will be the most direct line to the finish at Mina Sahahi. As through the haze, the unmistakable skyline of Dubai comes gradually into view on the horizon. The finish just to the right of the palm, close to the headquarters of the DIMC itself. You can see from that heli shot for yourselves just how much of a lead that Dama Marine has now over the rest of the fleet. They made the call way back in the race, the right call as it turned out to be. Not a lot in it, you would have thought, for what was essentially a straight line run all the way. But somehow these guys found the edge, used all that experience, this crew together now for 10 years as a working team, read the conditions and read them well. Well, they won in 2003, 2004 and 2008. The Dama Marine sponsored Alzir, skippered by Mohammed Rashid bin Shaheen, now taking the line, and the victory in 2011, equaling the record of wins, 4 in all, held by the legendary Al Adid. Well, boat 19, Dahi's crossing the line in second place, skippered by Kadem Rashid Al Mahari. The first time they've made the podium in the 20-year history of the race. They're followed in third place by boat 61, Abu Al Abiyad, skippered by Khalid Talish Atik Al Kabasi. So, on to the podium at the DIMC, and a fantastic season for the Al Zir crew as they swept everything before them. The 43-foot Dow Championships, the President's Cup, the Sheikh Majid Sports Festival, and now victory for the fourth time, equaling the record at the 2011 Al Gaffal traditional Dow race.